Aquarius, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a reading for February the 21st until February 27th, 2021. We will be taking a look into your recent past, the energies around you presently, and what's coming up for all of you. This will be, of course, for sun, moon, or rising signs in Aquarius should you cross-watch. And as always, these are general readings and they might not resonate for all of you. And that is totally, completely okay. Take the things that are for you and leave everything else behind to get into your higher vibes. While I'm doing my little shuffle here, it would mean so much to me if you would smash that subscribe button so that next week when I am back, you are aware from the hop. If this reading resonates for you, please do leave me a thumbs up and any comments or questions you might have down below. I'm always so happy to hear from all of you. Things flying out. Okay, Aquarius, overall energy for you this reading is the Knight of Swords. So maybe in a place right now where you're wanting to take some quick action or going to have some things come up here that are going to require some fast and attentive sort of action taken for them. Potentially some news coming in for you here as well. In the recent past, Aquarius, we have the Six of Cups, the Empress, and the Knight of Pentacles. So have you been taking some time recently to reflect on the past? And I don't know, for those of you who are parents or take care of other creatures, I mean, I know some people consider their pets as children, but there's a real energy here for me of thinking about your children or your offspring or whoever you care for and doing your best for them, looking back on kind of the journey you've been taking in your life and wanting to leave behind some sort of legacy for those that are coming after you, and just spending some time really reflecting on that and figuring out what kind of steps you might need to take to be able to create that, to create a legacy of some kind. Obviously, you don't need to have children to have legacy, but that's just kind of the energy that's coming up for me here, this reflecting on what am I going to leave behind for the next. In the present energy for you here, we have the King of Swords, the Nine of Wands, and the Eight of Wands. Aquarius, again, getting back to this wanting to take action sort of energy, this is you here very firmly in your power and preparing to get on a new project or get moving on something new, maybe relating to this legacy sort of mentality that you have right now. I definitely feel that you are just kind of like on the edge of really wanting to do something, but I think we're still in ideation phase right now. We're still really thinking things through, considering what it could be, what we want it to be, how we want that to look. But you're in a place where you're feeling like now is the time. Now is the time for me to start to plan for the future of what I'm going to leave behind on this earth. In the future energy, we have the Three of Swords, the Queen of Wands, and the Five of Swords. So some hardship coming in for you here, Aquarius. I'm not sure entirely what the trigger is going to be. My initial energetic impressions here are that it might be a little bit of an overconfidence. Like really coming up with whatever the ideas are, whatever it is that you think you want to action on, and saying like, okay, I'm going to do this big grand thing. That'll be how I make my legacy. And then kind of getting into the project and feeling like, you know, I may have been overconfident here. I may have oversold my skill set to myself. And I think that's going to bring on some sense of disappointment, a little bit of frustration here. Yeah, I'm interested to do some clarifying on this, but we're definitely starting to think about our long-term impression on the world right now and what we leave behind here, Aquarius. And I think that is not a bad place to be in terms of mindset, especially with the state of everything that's been going on in the world. It's hard not to think about, you know, what will be left behind after we go, and what our role in that is, and what we contribute to it. So we'll start with clarifying this Knight of Swords energy here. Okay. Yep, Ace of Emotions, Five of Materials, and the Five of Inspiration. So there's definitely going to be some challenges coming up for you here, Aquarius. This isn't going to be a simple or straightforward route or path. So there's definitely going to be, you know, that spark of an idea. There's going to be that opportunity that kind of presents itself to you in your psyche. It's going to be something that really speaks to your heart. It's like, obviously, when we're thinking about leaving things behind, leaving a piece of ourselves behind, we want to leave behind something that really matters to us, that really is important to us. And I see you kind of deciding on what that's going to be. But it's going to feel like there are a lot of obstacles in between the want and the doing. You're going to have to go through some serious iterations on this. I think there's going to be just a number of hurdles that come up here as far as the planning and execution goes. And there's definitely going to be some points here where you're feeling like nothing is coming together. Not to say that it won't come together, but if you're thinking really big, if we are getting back to this future energy, this sense of like overconfidence that's coming in here, leading to some disappointment, think about small goals. Think about, this is the big goal, but then here are the little baby goals that we need to hit before we get into that. I think that's going to help alleviate some of the challenges coming up here. A lot of fives on the board for you here. Let's get into the recent past here. I do want to look at this Six of Cups, see what's got you feeling a little nostalgic here right now. Muse of Materials, the Three of Voices, and the Three of Inspiration. The impression that I really get here, Aquarius, maybe is that you feel like you need to fill someone else's shoes. Maybe you have a role model or a parent or just a figure in your life who you've seen as being the person who kind of like is what you aspire to be. They are your muse. They are someone that you're like, when I think about myself, you know, in their, like at their age or in their position, you know, that is who I want to be. That's how I want to be respected. But I think there's a real energy here of feeling like you have disappointed them, like that you've planned and you've tried and you've laid out groundwork, but nothing really kind of worked out here, and that you just continue to sort of fall short and make them feel a sense of disappointment. Now, obviously, this is an internalized thing. I'm not saying that the person who inspires you feels like you are a disappointment. That's how you're viewing yourself in their shadow. And I think part of that is going to be the catalyst here to wanting to find your own way to leave something behind. You want to be able to present to this person like, you know, I'm going to do it and I'm going to do it right this time because you've inspired me to do that. That is the impression for me here, Aquarius. I mean, take that which is for you in this. Let's get into the present energy. Whoops. I'm going to look at this Eight of Wands, all the kind of ideation phase. That's my favorite part of every project, is like all the ideas, coming up with all the what pie in the sky, like what could we do? What could be the thing? It's fun. Yeah, Ace of Inspiration, Six of Voices, and the Two of Emotions. Aquarius, here you are looking for the perfect idea. I think there's going to be this very precious sort of mindset around selecting the project. And I think, you know, it's coming to you. I think As well, this is going to mean that you need to abandon some other projects that you have been working on, or abandon some other things in your life to create the space and room to really be able to give your all to this. If you are in a long-term partnership, you may find that your partner is also part of this process here, but I do think that this Two of Emotions coming up for you is more to do with really picking the right thing, the right project, the right legacy to leave behind. And that's going to be something that you're going to spend a lot of time on deciding what that's going to be. And I think it's going to come in for you here. We've had the Ace of Emotions and the Ace of Inspirations come up. So, you know, something that's really close to your heart and something that speaks to your passions in life as well here. We will take a look in the future energies. I want to look at the Five of Swords, I think, here. The Sun, the Queen of Voices, and the Wheel. Aquarius, the impression I get here is that for you, in deciding what this legacy project will be, whatever this thing is that you want to leave behind, you think that like once you start to do it and put it together, it's going to lead to your happiness. But I think you're going to feel like there's just this barrier between being happy and getting started on this new cycle, this you know, wheel of change that happens. I think you're gonna be in this space of feeling like there's always sort of a little roadblock that keeps you from that happiness. So I might start to reevaluate, what is it that's going to bring you happiness? What do you need to feel that sense of emotional abundance and fulfillment? And why you think there is that roadblock, or what types of roadblocks tend to come up. And are they ones that are of internal processes that we can actually actively work to change, or are they ones that are externally imposed upon us here? A lot of the cards in the spread for you are minor arcana cards this week, which to me says that a lot of this is within your control. I do think the only majors that have come up have been the Empress. Yeah, the Empress and the Sun card here. So beginning to do work that is really close to you, that something that's been inside of you for a long time that you've always dreamed or romanticized about being able to do, that is the starting point to get you going for it. But there's not going to be a rapid solution here. This is going to be something that's just going to take a little bit of time and dedication to get to. There are definitely going to be some foreseeable roadblocks. So it's about managing those to get to the happiness, you know, not expecting that as soon as I decide what I'm going to do and start doing it, that's just going to automatically bring me abundance, happiness, and joy, you know. Let's take one last message from Spirit here. Two of Wands, Eight of Swords, and the Eight of Cups. Do not get stuck in the planning phase, Aquarius. I think there is definitely some fear here or worry. Spirit is advising that if you spend too long just planning, and not starting to make movement, you're going to get stuck on that planning phase. You're going to get caught up in everything needs to be exactly as I'm planning it right here in the beginning, and it may risk you walking away from the project prematurely. So just keep that in mind. I hope this is helpful to you, Aquarius. If you did enjoy the reading, again, please hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next week.